So after we finished combining those 10 different laser scanning setups, we see a complete point cloud here in CloudCompare. For making that point cloud a little bit more visible, I would recommend to change the background color of the display port to white, because that blue color eliminates a lot of those blue points in the point cloud. So let's change that to white color. All right. And so it's much more clearly visible what we have here. So next step is to cut off all unnecessary parts of the point cloud to reduce the point cloud to just the interesting part, which is the terrain here inside that fence. What we also need to uncut is also the vegetation here, the trees, and everything else which is not of our interest right now. So let's start with roughly cropping around that construction site here. So we select the point cloud and select the segmentation tool. And with the segmentation tool and selecting polygon selection, we can now easily crop away all unnecessary part which is surrounding our construction site. I just do it roughly right now because more detailed we will do later. It's just for eliminating the far away parts. All right. Crop that away. It takes a few seconds for the program to cut away and to segment all the point clouds data, because we are now dealing with a real huge point cloud. We assembled 10 laser scans together. Each laser scan has a resolution of about 5 million points, so we are now dealing with 50 million points here. So the program starts to get a bit unresponsive. All right, we accept our cropping. And what we have right now are 2 point clouds. And one point cloud is the outside of our construction site, and one point cloud is the terrain of interest. And so we can just delete the outer part by pushing the delete button on the keyboard. So second, we want to crop away the fence and all unnecessary parts. We have a few machines standing here, so we could also crop away those machines. But what is more necessary to crop away is the vegetation, because the vegetation can disturb our wool measurement. So let's look at it from the top. And we cut away first part of the vegetation. For doing that, I will first roughly select the part of the point cloud which I want to edit more detailed. And do a segmentation with that. Well, it takes a few seconds for the program, because if I'm not cutting away the other part, it will block my view from that direction, so that I don't have a free view to cut away the vegetation. All right. So what we do now, we accept the changes, and we make only that small part visible here. And now it's pretty easy to crop away the vegetation and also the fence. So we will crop away both at once. right? First part. And we will also crop away the fence, but this is what we will do later. We now focus on the vegetation here. And it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to get a good view on the vegetation, to not crop away too much from our terrain model. So this is sometimes a bit tricky, but it's possible. Okay, so we first crop away the upper parts of the trees. And I will do a second segmentation here so that I will focus only on this small area, because this is something I have to look a little bit more closer right now. I will do a segmentation here. Right. And the part which I have here, I can now merge with my other point cloud, so that I will get them back together. And this is done here with the merge tool. So this is now part again of our wool point cloud, and we will now deal with that small part here and crop away all the vegetation. Right? Okay, so we cropped away everything which is unnecessary here. And we can now merge that again with our wool point cloud. If we select both point clouds again and merge them together. And we now do the same here with the fence. So we crop away the fence here. But this is done at best directly from top. Well, the software needs a little for computation. Okay. And we delete that part. And go on here with the next part of the fence. And crop that also away. And now the wool terrain becomes more and more clearly visible here. These are 2 containers and construction machines. So let's crop away all that stuff. Well, as more complex as the polygon is, which you choose here, the longer the software needs for computation, because the software needs to compute which point is inside the polygon and which point is outside. All right. Okay, we are sure to finish. And here, the last part of the fence, we can crop it with at once. Right. Okay, so this is the part we crop away. And now our laser scan looks pretty clean. So at this stage, a good idea is always to save our work. Just select the point cloud and save that. All right. So what we want to have is a terrain model, because currently we have a lot of points here on the ground which are not in a fixed raster. They are just as the laser scan worked, and we have from different point of views, we have different densities on each spot here. So to have the same density all over the area, we can now do a rasterization. And this is done by the projection tool. So we rasterize that to a grid of 5 centimeters. And such a grid would look like that. We will not use the minimum height, we will use the interpolated height. And so this will look much better here. All right, we can also reduce the point distance to, let's say, 2 centimeters, which is even a bigger grid. And we now get a warning that it will have more than 10 million cells. You should have a big computer for doing that. As you can see, computation time raises now. Okay, and what we do is we add that cloud to our project. All right. So this is now a cloud with an average density all over the cloud, as you can see. And this is our terrain model with 2 centimeter cloud density. So this can now be used in any other software for doing volume calculation, for doing terrain modeling, for doing whatever is needed with the terrain data.